What's up, digital marketing agencies? I'm really excited. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about really how you can improve your client retention. And if you've been at this game for any period of time, you know one of the most important determinants of your success or failure in the agency game is your ability not just to land clients, but to keep those clients long term. And sometimes even when you provide amazing results, whatever it is you do, website SEO, pay-per-click, social media, Facebook ads, you crush it for the client, sometimes they churn. And so what I want to share on this video are some strategies we've implemented and we've seen our seven-figure agency members implement to significantly improve the retention rate and really take clients from maybe just sticking around for 6 to 9 months to sticking around for years. So if that sounds good, hit the like button. Be sure to watch this video because you're going to get some great insights. So first of all, I just want to make sure that you're clear. As an agency owner, you're probably focused on business development. I know I am, and I always have been. And so my focus is typically on how do I grow this thing? How do I get more clients? How do I continue to scale the business? Is it even worth focusing on retention? And I want to tell you that a 5% increase in your customer retention rate can result in almost a 25 to 95% improvement in profitability, right? And so yes, you don't just want to focus on landing new clients. You have to really focus also on how do we retain those clients? How do we grow those clients as people that are spending more and more with us over time because we're having such a big impact. And so that's what we're going to focus on today's video. I want to start by talking about some of the fundamental things that we shifted in our business that had a huge impact on our ability to retain. And I'll tell you, we work with plumbing and HVAC companies, and over the years, we had some struggles with retention. As a matter of fact, there was a time in our business where our retention was only about 91%, which means we were losing almost 9% of our clients any given month. And on average in the agency space, about a 10% monthly churn is normal, it's standard. But by implementing the things I'm going to be sharing with you today, we've been able to increase that retention to over 97% monthly, month in, month out. And we've been able to see this play out for a lot of our agency members as well. Fundamental number one is you want to make sure that you're focused on impact. So what I mean by that is your service offering, what you bring to the table, don't let it just be an activity that checks a box, right? So some examples of just smokes and mirror type services would be, oh, you know what, I do social posting for clients, right? I just post every single day for the sake of posting every single day. But does that actually generate more leads, more sales, more revenue growth for your client? If the answer is no, then you probably want to rethink that, right? You want to think that your service, whatever it is, the website, the SEO, the pay-per-click that you're bringing to the table, isn't just checking a box, but it's actually something that's going to move the needle and generate leads and sales. Your clients don't care about vanity metrics. They don't care about how many more clicks or how many more rankings. They care about one thing, and that's more leads, more sales, and more revenue growth. And so by changing our model to make sure everything we did for our clients was focused on impact and revenue generating stuff for them, that made us a lot more relevant and was able to help to really improve our retention rates. Second thing you want to think about is going wider with your service offering, right? What we found is if all you do is SEO or all you do is pay-per-click, your ability to retain is shrunken, right? So by going cross-channel, by making sure you do the website, the SEO, the pay-per-click, the more services you can add to the mix that you provide for your client that actually have an impact, the more sticky you're going to be because you're going to be able to blend the results and be more consistent with the deliverable, but you're also going to have more value that you're bringing to the table, which makes the client say, hey, they're not just doing my Facebook ads, they're not just doing my pay-per-click, they're handling a lot of stuff for me. Hopefully that makes sense. By going multi-channel, you can really improve your retention rates. The next thing is, and this is probably the hardest for most people to wrap their head around, and it was certainly for me, the clients you choose to work with will make or break your retention, right? If you're working with anybody, and I'm saying a niche specific agency, if you're like, hey, whoever it is, the one-man operator or the $10 million business, I'll work with either, you're going to struggle, right? You can choose to work with the higher end. You can choose to work with more established businesses. We had a massive churn issue in our business because we were working with plumbing companies, very niche focused, and that's great. We had actually a great service offering where we consistently got the websites ranked and we made the phones ring and they generated results. But in a lot of cases, we were working with the one-man operator, the very small startup plumbing business that had one truck, maybe two people in the office, and that was the whole business. And when you deal with small operators, one-man businesses, they're not growth mindset. They don't have an entrepreneurial growth strategy in place. And oftentimes, they're just trying to get by. And when we stopped working with startups, stopped working with one-man operators and shifted our focus, we said, look, specifically, you have to be doing at least $1 million or more in your business to be qualified to work with us. Everything changed because we were dealing with more established businesses that had more revenue to spend. They had the bandwidth to kind of get the work done and to be really good at delivering services. And so I say this because most agencies I deal with that are struggling with retention, it's not necessarily about the service offering or even how good they are at what they do. It's the clients they've chosen to work with. And if you can just shift and say, look, we're only going to work with a certain level of company, it can have a huge impact on your retention, on your profitability, and ultimately how much enjoyment you get out of running your agency. I hope that lands. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Now, the last thing I'm going to say that had a huge impact on our ability to retain and move from just getting people for 3 to 6 months to getting them for years and years is to properly set expectations. The way you set the expectation with the client will make or break the relationship. So a lot of agencies in today's environment are selling a guarantee, let's just do a trial run in the next 2 weeks and see kind of how it works. And if that's the expectation you're setting, you better just crush it right out of the gates. Otherwise, most of your clients are going to say, hey, I tried it, it didn't work. Hey, I gave you the 30 days and I'm not seeing an amazing result. I'm out, right? And if that's you, I want you to say, at least internally, that's me, right? Unfortunately, we've all been there. When we shifted the expectation for the client from, hey, let's give us 30 days, it'll be month to month, we'll prove our value, to, look, this is going to be a long-term business relationship, right? We're going to build your website, we're going to get it ranked, we're going to run paid search, we're going to really track everything and help you take your business to the next level, but it's going to take some time. Like, let's not even do business if you're not willing to commit to this for a year. When we made that shift, not only did clients stick around longer, they were bought in. They were like, okay, yes, I'm not just trialing this. This is a long-term business decision, and I'm going to stick with it for at least a year. And usually when you get somebody that's going to give you that type of runway to implement what you're going to do for them, they're going to stick around. They're going to be happy with the relationship, especially if you do a good job and you focus on impact. And I'll tell you, this one was a sticking point for me at Plumbing and HVAC SEO. I didn't want to go to a long-term contract. I was really, really bought into this idea of it should be month to month, and we should show our value every single month. And I was in some different masterminds and around other more successful people to me, and they said, look, just do the 12-month commitment. Like, you're not going to lose clients. It's not going to shut your business down. You'll be fine. And I said, okay, let's give it a whirl. Let's just try it on the next handful of prospects and see what happens. And what we found was most of the clients didn't care less whether it was a 12-month agreement or month to month. Almost 9 out of 10 would just be like, okay, that's the deal, I'm in, right? And they signed up at the 12-month agreement. Do you think if more and more of your clients were coming into the relationship committed to 12 months as opposed to 30 days, you would retain at a higher level? Absolutely. And so don't get in your own head about this. Very few of your prospects will even be worried or concerned about it. And so really, I could go long on this and talk about the number one reason that clients leave, which is perceived indifference, and you need to make sure you create a great relationship. I could talk about really you want to make sure that you balance the results as well as the service. But the reality is you have to have a critical strategy in place to improve client retention, to create a world-class onboarding experience, to be effective with your communication, and to really develop an account management team around you. And I've got a great training where I go into depth on this, and I walk you through specifically how to build out your world-class onboarding, how to be more effective with what you communicate, how you develop those types of relationships, and ultimately how you build your account management team. So eventually in your agency, it can't just be you, right? You have to put a team in place that's going to manage the clients. And you have to have a scalable model so that based on every certain number of clients, we're going to hire a new account manager, we're going to train them up, we're going to put them in front of the client base so the business can continue to grow and you can continue to deliver world-class services. So if you'd like to get that, it's a deep dive training as well as a checklist that walks you specifically through how to implement this to really improve your client retention rates, get clients to stay with you much longer, and ultimately have a much more profitable agency. What I encourage you to do is go to sevenfigureagency.com/retention-workbook. And it's based on our book, The Client Retention Handbook for Digital Marketing Agencies, which you can get on Amazon or you can get by going to sevenfigureagency.com/retention. If you really want to go deep with this, that's where to go next. I hope you got value out of this. Would love to hear in the comments what were a couple of the takeaways, what were a couple of the things that you will absolutely implement to improve your retention rate. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to talking with you again soon.